So, new lease of life. Do you think maybe you wouldn't have needed to find yourself creating a new subsidiary with a Chinese company to house some of your biggest IPs had you just continued to do your job and make good games in the first place? You know, games that run well, uh, hardly any bugs to begin with, or, on release, rather than treating players like they're beta testers, pandering to a very, very small group of people who aren't truly happy with anything. Do you think that maybe had you just continued being the company you were 10, 20 years ago, maybe none of this would have happened? I'm just saying. Had you just continued to go down that route of Ubisoft, a company that was a titan in the gaming industry, having to house their bigger names with a company from China because these guys were basically going bankrupt. Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot admits company got new lease of life after Tencent deal. Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot revealed that the company received a new lease of life after it struck a deal with Chinese conglomerate Tencent to create a new subsidiary that would house its Assassin's Cred. Assassin's Cred. We've got Assassin's Cred. Far Cry and Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six brand. Ubisoft announced its deal with Tencent back at the end of March, revealing that it would create a new subsidiary to house Assassin's Creed. Oh, now it's Assassin's Creed. Far Cry and Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six brands, as well as its development teams based in received Montreal, Quebec, Sherbrooke, Sanguinet, Barcelona, and Sofia, in any IP they currently have in development. This new subsidiary is being bankrolled by 1.16 billion euro investment from Tencent in exchange for 25% of it. At the time of the announcement, Guillemot said, "With the creation of a dedicated subsidiary that will spearhead development for three of our largest franchises and the onboarding of Tencent as a minority investor, we are crystallizing the value of our assets, strengthening our balance sheet, and creating the best conditions of these franchises' long-term growth and success. With its dedicated autonomous leadership team, it will focus on transforming these three brands into unique ecosystems." Did you ever think that maybe if you just stuck with making good games, you wouldn't have had to worry about this in the first place? Between that, having to lay off, more than how many people? Having to close down studios. Did you ever think that if you just continued to be the Ubisoft of 20 years ago, none of this would have happened? Yet here we are. Now, in an alleged internal email announcement, email announcing a new transformation committee for the new subsidiary that was acquired by French language site BFM Tech & Co., Guillemot wrote, "We have just passed a pivotal moment in the history of Ubisoft, which, strengthened by this agreement and the success of Assassin's Creed." What success? Oh, the 3 million players? Oh, we're still going with that? It wasn't successful. Okay. They sold at least up till now, maybe 1 million copies. So 3 million people, 1 million copies. How is that possible? And 1 million copies is not that much. The game needs at least 700 million to break even. Like, that 1 million copies is like 168 million. But please, yes, continue trying to say it's a success. Because it was played by 3 million people. Success of Assassin's Creed Shadows benefits from a new lease of life. According to BFM Tech & Co., this new transformation committee will be helmed by Guillemot's son, Charlie, alongside Ubisoft General Manager Marie-Sophie de Walbert. The 10-person committee is reportedly tasked with rethinking Ubisoft, while also finding 100 million euros in savings over 2 years within 100 days. I can save you a lot of money. Just start making good games. Simple as that. Stop pandering to the small minority. Stop coming out and telling people that they're phobes, this and isms. Stop coming out and saying, oh, don't believe your lying eyes. We're not about diversity, equity, and inclusion, despite the fact that it says so right on your own website. Don't do any of that. Just make good fucking games. Good games that are playable on release, because the players are not fucking beta testers. That's what you pay people for. We want complete games, which are very limited bugs. Sometimes bugs or glitches is fine, but when you have a game so broken you can't play it, that's not a ready-to-go product. That's still in the beta stage. The fact that Ubisoft is one of those companies that insist on basically manifying any attractive woman. Just look at Star Wars Outlaws. Yves, her actress, completely gorgeous. Humberly Gonzalez, beautiful woman. Her character looks like a dude. The men look just fine, but every Western company insists on just masculine, making masculine women, because women aren't just allowed to be pretty anymore. You can apparently you can't have badassery and beauty together. Either got to be badass and look like a man, or you have to be feminine and be like, oh, Mario. Apparently you can't have both, according to these people. So, the future that lies ahead requires new energy and a passion for games that corresponds to the current era. No, it doesn't. The current era is what's killing your games. The current era is what's making people want to go back and play the old stuff. You do not want to correspond to the current era in gaming. That is what's killing your company. That is why you had to have Tencent come save you, because of the current era of gaming. So no, we want you to be the Ubisoft from 20 years ago. Not this current era. The reason you're in this predicament in the first place is because of the current era. Ubisoft had a disastrous 24-25 fiscal year. The company revealed that its 24-25 full year report that its 24-25 full year report that it had a net income loss of 159 million euros. Just a year ago, the company expected in its net bookings to surpass that of 2023-2024 fiscal year, which clocked in at 2.321 nice billion euros. However, this past fiscal year, it posted net bookings of just 1.85 billion euros. That was down over 20% compared to the previous year. Furthermore, while Guillemot is touting Assassin's Creed Shadows as a success, which it wasn't, based on the company's expectations and its actual results of the fourth quarter when the game was released, it appears it missed the company's expectations. Back in February, during the third quarter 24-25 sales report, Ubisoft projected it would have a net booking of 1.9 billion for the year. It failed to hit that mark by 50 million. It's likely much of that projected revenue was supposed to come from Assassin's Creed Shadows. The company's stock price has declined over 22% since the beginning of the year as well. And I mean, come on. Like January, February, March, April, May, 5 months, and it's dropped over 22%. It's only been 5 months. Come on. Imagine how much it can possibly drop, even with Tencent stepping in. Imagine how far it can go. How low can it go? Ubisoft, how low can it go? Ubisoft. Like, look at this. Like, look at this. Look at me. Up and about. I haven't done this in 20 years. Additionally, it's declined nearly 85% over the last 5 years. You don't say. Not only can they not make a good game that is not woke, the CEO can't even yeah, get the idiom right. He uses right. It's a new lease on life, not of life. Well, they're French, so maybe it's different there. Um, may they find the Buddha's mercy. Our grandchildren are on the path, are on that path. This continues. Again, maybe they wouldn't have needed to find themselves on a new lease of life, had they just continued making good games. You know, because guess what? When you make good games that are fun to play and they're well put together, and you're not using people as beta testers, people will like the game, people will buy the game, and you'll make money from the game. You want to know how you don't make money? Not making a good game, having a glitched, buggy game that is not even playable, coming out and, people saying you're phobic and ism because you criticize the game, stuff like that. Not doing any research, real research, despite the fact that you say you're working closely with historians or people, who know what they're talking about, such as Assassin's Creed Shadows, when they were using Chinese architecture rather than Japanese architecture, considering the game takes place in ancient Japan. The one-legged Torii Gate, from bombing of Nagasaki. I mean, you say you care, but yet you do all the stupid shit that shows the complete opposite. Shiitake? I'm sorry, I had to bring that little bit up. So maybe just go back to making good games. Be the Ubisoft of 20 years ago. It's not that hard. It's actually really simple. And I am outright telling you, no one wants this. No one wants it. Because we know what current era of gaming is. No one wants it at all. Current era of gaming is what's killing gaming. Same way it's killing movies and TV shows and comics. The current era is what's destroying these things. Go back to the old era where you were successful, where Ubisoft was known as a trusted gaming company. Or you can go down that path. I mean, it's worked out great for you guys the last couple years, right? Surely, don't call me Shirley. Surely it'll work out at some point. So, you know what? Go ahead. Keep going down that current era of gaming. You do you, guys. You do you. Because you guys have been so successful that you had to house some of your biggest IPs because you were basically needing help. Because you were this close to bankruptcy. Because you needed financial support. Because you were so successful. Anyway, that's going to do for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.